Philippine Environment Code Presidential Decree number 1152 is the topic that has been assigned to us. So for the background, Philippine Environment Code Presidential Decree number 1152 was enacted on June 6, 1977, and it was a time when Ferdinand E. Marcos was the President of the Republic of the Philippines. This act was passed by Congress, or it was created because the government saw how damaging our world was and how unhealthy it was to exist in such an environment. It can cause a disease that kills people, so in order to protect people's health and environment, they enacted this law to prevent some kind of disaster and also to maintain a safe atmosphere in our country. The salient features of this act, which is the Presidential Decree number 1152, are split into different titles, the majority of which deal with different environmental issues. And these are the most prominent or important features of the act that we must know. So first is air quality management. The purpose of it is to achieve and maintain such levels of air quality as to protect public health and for us to be safe from air pollution, which is common in our environmental issues. Next is water quality management. So this title's intention is to provide management guidelines created to protect and improving the quality of Philippine water supplies. Next is land use management. This one is to support or promote the careful use and protection of land resources in order to avoid a difference between the nation's need and those resources, and to avoid misunderstanding between the two. And for the fourth one, natural resources management and conservation. It is to create the fundamental policy for the management and protection of the country's natural resources in order to maximize their benefits and protect them for the future generations. And last is waste management. Its goal is to encourage, promote, and enhance environmental and social efforts to avoid environmental damage and unsustainable loss of the nation's valuable resources by waste recovery, recycling, and reuse. The strength of the Act. It provided a comprehensive program of environmental protection and management. So this Presidential Decree number 1152 nagprovide og mas stronger or mas effective nga way, which is the environmental protection policy for us to maintain the good and healthy environment if we will just follow the law, if we will just follow this act. Next is to the greatest extent possible to prevent injury or damage to plant and animal life and property, and to promote the country's social and economic development. Next is the Act sets basic environmental protection practices. So, nagset sila mga basic environmental protection practices for us to remember it easily and para ma-adapt tayo nato sa ato as self and ma-apply tayo nato ang environmental protection policy nga kimo ani nga law. Next is the weakness of the Act. Government agencies and private entities implementing solid waste management program must consult with government agencies concerned about the effect of such dumping on the marine environment and navigation. There shall be a standard for noise-producing equipment such as construction equipment, transportation equipment, and electrical or electronic equipment and such similar equipment are contrivances. The standard shall set a limit on the acceptable level of noise limited from a given equipment for the protection of public health and welfare, considering, among others, the magnitude and condition of use, the degree of noise reduction achievable through the application of best available technology, and the cost of compliance. The National Pollution Control Commission, in coordination with appropriate government agencies, shall establish to the greatest extent practicable an air quality monitoring network. Such air quality monitoring network shall put the maximum use the capabilities of these agencies. It shall be the responsibility of the polluter to contain, remove, and clean up water pollution incidents at his own expense. In case of his failure to do so, the government agencies concerned shall undertake containment, removal, and clean-up operations, and expenses incurred in said operation shall be charged against the persons or entities responsible for such pollution. And the national government, through the Department of Natural Resources, shall establish a system of rational exploitation of fisheries and aquatic resources within the Philippine territory, and shall encourage citizen participation therein to maintain and or enhance the optimum and continuous productivity of the same. And the last one is the national government, through Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Service Administration, shall promote intensified and concerted research efforts on weather modification, typhoon, earthquake, tsunami, storm surge, and other tropical natural phenomena in order to bring about any significant effect to mitigate or prevent their destructive effect. For the opportunities of the Act, first is conserving endangered fish and marine resources such as turtles, sea snakes, crocodiles, and corals, as well as preserving mangrove areas, marshes and tidal waterways, coral reef areas, and islands that serve as sanctuaries for fish and other aquatic life. Next is maintaining endangered fauna by increasing their rate of reproduction, preserving their original habitat, manipulating habitat, deciding luggage limits, population management in relation to the carrying capacity of any particular region, and preventing indiscriminate or destructive methods of trapping or hunting them. Next is prevent infectious diseases. So we all know that diseases caused by dirty environments, and it is possible that diseases will lead to death. And therefore, we have to be always maintaining the cleanliness of our surrounding, because we all know that a clean environment will make us live safely and comfortable. Next is to improve your mental health. So once nga naata sa clean environment, it will increase our mood during on our working time, and even naalang ta sa ato ang balay, sa ato ang kwarto. If makita nimo imong kwarto nga limpyo ang surrounding, comfortable jud kaayo ka nga magigda kasi wala na yung nagabother sa imuhang mind, wala na yung nagabother, wala na yung mga garbage, kay limpyo na ang imuhang surrounding and it will improve your mental health. And for the last one is to maintain your fitness. So a clean environment can maintain our fitness from the potential dangerous germs or viruses. Just like karon na ay COVID-19, so if mugawas ka nga wala kay face mask, then you will consistently inhale, carry germ or viruses into your respiratory system, which can make you sick or even lead you to death. So if we will just maintaining the cleanliness of our surroundings, and if we will just follow the environmental protection policy, we can avoid all the dangerous germs in our country.
So I am here to report about the problem with the act implementation in the Philippines. So if an act isn't implemented well in the small community or in a locality, then how it could have strong implementation in a country? So this is the problem with the act implementation in the Philippines. So the most common problem is there is a lack of cooperation on every citizens in our country. And even in a small community, such act isn't implemented well. Filipinos are independent, yet some has their rules on their own hand. And then the problem of the act implementation in your locality. Every act starts in the locality, and the locality it was tested on how it was being implemented. And the problem is some individuals don't understand well that a certain act is just for our own good. Sometimes they may follow a certain rules or act, but it will just always be good in the beginning only. So may lang jud sa sugod no. And then after a month, it seems like just act isn't implemented. May lang jud siya sa sugod na ma-follow, and then pag abot na sa dugay-dugay, mawala na sab. And there are some officials or leaders also who tolerate somebody that is against the law. Mao jud. Charot. Recommendation. This is our recommendation of the act. Everything starts as small before it becomes higher or bigger. That's why to execute strong implementation of the act, it should be understood well to everyone from a small community the certain purpose of a certain act. Hence, it is vital concern of our government, and thus every individual's cooperate is a must. And then in implementing act, leadership also is what I highly recommended. And I believe a great leader could surely execute strong implementation of the act for how it was implemented, and the result of it reflects on how leaders lead or to be a role model of their people. Thank you.